when the waters rise and the world seems to crumble around us. That's when true character reveals itself. In August 2017, Hurricane Harvey struck Houston, Texas with devastating force, transforming quiet neighborhoods into flood zones overnight. But in the midst of chaos and fear, something remarkable happened. Four ordinary teenage boys stepped up when help couldn't reach fast enough. They didn't wait for someone else to act. They grabbed a boat, paddled into danger, and became the lifeline their community desperately needed. This story isn't just about a hurricane. It's about courage, compassion, and the power of young people to make a real difference. Let's explore how Liam, Declan, Thomas, and Richard turned a crisis into an opportunity to show what heroism really looks like. On Saturday, August 26, 2017, the night before the worst part of Hurricane Harvey struck Houston, Liam Connor and his brother, Declan, stayed in to watch a boxing match with their friends. The school year had only just begun. Their friends were saying that the hurricane might get them a day or two out of class. But Hurricane Harvey turned out to be much worse than anyone expected. It morphed from a tropical storm into a Category 1 hurricane, then a Category 3, and eventually returned to tropical storm status while dumping devastating amounts of rain on southeast Texas. The sheer volume of rainfall, over 60 inches in some areas, was the highest total ever recorded after a storm in the United States. Liam woke up early Sunday morning to heavy rain and the sound of stuff floating around in the garage. He went upstairs to wake the rest of his family. Later that morning, helicopters whirred overhead and neighbors cried for help from nearby rooftops. A neighbor asked Declan and Liam if he and his wife could be taken on the boat to the local Kroger, which was located on higher ground. The boys hadn't planned on using Declan's boat for rescues. They had just brought it from Galveston to keep it from being lost or damaged in the hurricane. But people needed help, so their parents allowed them to head out. Two friends, Thomas Edwards and Richard Dickinson, joined them. When they reached the local Kroger, the boys fully realized the seriousness of the situation. Entire families had narrowly escaped the flooding. They gathered in the parking lot with their pets and whatever belongings they could scrounge together. Police officers were everywhere trying to control the chaos. From that point onwards, the boys' mission was to bring as many people to safety as they possibly could. The mission wasn't easy. They had to prioritize people over pets, though they rescued plenty of animals too, and they paid special attention to anyone whose life was in immediate danger. Every time we rescued somebody, there was somebody down the street screaming, "Please come back and rescue us." Of course, we had to say yes, Liam said. Sometimes the boys had to convince the individuals they were attempting to help to hop on board. Some skeptical neighbors even asked if the foursome was just joyriding around for fun. A lot of people were reluctant, I guess, because they were waiting for the Coast Guard or actual rescue personnel to come, not four teenage boys in basketball shorts with their shorts on. After the four boys had proven themselves, law enforcement asked them for guidance. It was just really funny. The fire department was basically taking orders from us, Thomas said. They were like, "Do y'all know where to go? What should we do?" Declan was kind of bossing them around. A photojournalist from the Houston Chronicle spotted the teens and took a ride on their boat. The pictures quickly spread on Twitter, and phone calls and texts bombarded Declan from everywhere. Though they used technology to identify neighbors in need, their methods were more old-fashioned. They rode on paddleboards, paddled through foul-smelling garbage-filled water, and fought off fire ants. In total, the boys rescued several dozen people, too many for them to count. They even pulled two older city workers from a flooded dump truck, clinging to tree branches for hours. After the floods dissipated, the boys continued to make themselves available. They patrolled neighborhoods with an axe in case anyone was stuck in a home, and they set up a Facebook page to coordinate volunteer work at their school. Despite the national attention, they don't see themselves as heroes. As Liam put it, "I know this is cliché to say, but all of us think that we're not heroes. We were just lucky to have a boat, and we didn't deserve any of the credit that we got. I think anyone in our neighborhood would have done that." The story of When the Waters Rise reminds us that heroism isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up when it matters most. These four boys didn't plan to become heroes. They just saw a need and answered the call. In a world full of fear and uncertainty, they proved that courage and compassion can rise, even when the waters do.